All right, welcome to Basketball and Pictures, brought to you by NBA University. Michael, I'm going to break down some film here. We're going to be looking at Zion Williamson against UCF and look at him on the offensive side of the ball. Going to break down three aspects of his game: his shooting, his passing, and his ability to drive the ball. So first, we're going to start with some shooting. We're going to get into that. So the first play here, we're going to look, it's early on in the first half. Duke hasn't scored. UCF is coming out of the game, daring Zion to shoot. So very early on, a minute and a half into the game, Zion gets it on the wing and lets one fly. So we're going to break down the way he shoots it here. If we look, he catches a ball, takes 3 steps, but they're not going to call that. And the thing about Zion's shot is that he's very flat-footed, very angled when he takes a shot. So what I mean by that is he's facing the baseline, and then he has a very long delivery or shot to get that ball out of his hands. So I'll stop it here, get into a little more depth on what he's doing. So again, his toes always are going to be facing to his right, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. You look at some of the best shooters in the NBA, Kevin Durant especially, they tend to have their toes like this. The problem is that when Zion does that, his shoulders get parallel with the baseline and make this shot from the wing a lot more difficult. So that's one thing. And then again, with that long release, he comes way out here, starts the ball way too low, basically around his knees, which causes that long delivery. And when you have to go from here to here, that is a massive distance to cover. And then on a consistent basis, avoiding any mistakes on that rise up. So bringing that ball that much of a distance, you're going to have some times where you go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, which will ultimately impact your shot. So that long release really affects him. And when you look here, you'll see his elbow out like this and his other elbow out like this. It's a little extreme, but both elbows are flaring out, which will cause a lot of movement to the left or the right on this jump shot. See, very long release, elbows both out, shoulders at the baseline. And if you look at his hand placement on the ball, left hand's good. It's got under the ball, has support. Right hand's a little bit too far out in front of the ball. So again, we'll cause a lot of left or right. He ended up making that one. So let's go to the next one. Moving a little bit towards the ball, but he's a very set shot. He's not going to be crawling off screen and letting it fly as soon as he catches it. He's very systematic. I'm trying to think of the right word, but so he's going to catch it, 1-2 into it. Again, very flat-footed. Ball starts at his waist with his jump shot, and you see those toes facing away from the hoop. And then gets a good angle right here. That's where the ball should basically be starting, and having that angle there. but he brings it back to about 30 degrees when he should be at 90. So 90's right here. That's where it should start. You should just go up from there. That's too big of an angle there. Sorry about that. We'll go a little bit more depth here. So again, you see toes facing this way, shoulders facing that way. Gonna be tough to get that to go straight consistently. You'll see a lot of his misses are left to right, but does a better job of starting a little bit higher this time, but again, too low. And you'll see he gets to this 90, but then keeps going. So by the time he starts to go up, his arm's like this, and that's what we like to call a catapult. And if you're familiar with catapults, they're not very accurate. So when he's doing that catapult action, that's gonna get the distance, but it's not gonna get the right aim. So keeping that 90 degrees, he gets more control of the ball and can dictate where it goes. So into a jump shot, he ends up hitting it there. Next one, Trey does a good job of drawing two, kicks it out. Again, he's gonna go into a 1-2 stop. This is where you'll really get a good look at his elbows flaring. You see right here, both elbows are way too far out. His ball placement is really good, right over on top of that left shoulder. Left elbow needs to come in a little bit to the right. Right elbow needs to come in a little bit and fall off a little bit earlier. So break this one down. You see here, this, you never want greater than or less than signs as your elbows when you're taking a jump shot. Ideally, you would have a little bit more of a straight line right here. Guide hand should be more like this and fall off right above the top of your head. So leaning a lot on this right leg. This foot's off the ground. This foot is still flat. He's leaning. His shoulders are dipped a little bit to the right. Again, this is going to cause it to go left or right. So if he can shoot on balance, keeping those elbows in a little bit and facing the hoop more, then he can turn that into a much more effective jump shot. Ends up missing right. Again, when you look at that lean to the right and how he releases it, you know that's going to go right every time. Again, another jump shot here. Trey kicks it to him. UCF is going to dare him to do it. He's going to go into a right-left stop again. And if you see the theme, he's facing the sideline. Good angle here, but again, starting in his right hip pocket. That's a tough spot to start, especially as a lefty coming across your body into the jump shot. Too small of an angle here. Again, look at that's 30 degrees right there. You want it at 90. He gets better lift on this jump shot, especially in the second half. He's played a ton of minutes. He's probably a little bit tired. Needs a little bit more from his legs. Does a good job of knocking this one down. but still, it goes in, but he, again, hits the left side of the rim and goes in. Because of these mechanics, he's always going to be left or right. Obviously, there's going to be times where he hits nothing but net right down the center, but consistently, he's going to be going left or right because of these mechanics. Now to the free throw. End of the game, needs this free throw. He's tired. He's played nearly 40 minutes. And something that really I'll never understand in free throw routines is when someone spins the ball or they do something that's not a part of a regular basketball move that you see during the game. You'll never be on the court in live play and spin the ball before you shoot. So why are you doing it during a free throw? Especially when he does it, he spins it in his right hand, so it gets too much the ball into his guide hand. Now he's starting on the right side of his body. You see that there? Ball is on this right side, which will make him come up and across and over before he shoots the ball. That's too many directions to go on a jump shot, which a lot of times we'll call as misses. And again, you see he's planted hard on his right foot. Left foot's off the ground a little bit. Dips the shoulders just a slight bit. But again, will affect the direction of the ball. And because he's leaning so hard on that right leg, he ends up coming up short because he's not using those legs. So dips hard on that right side. Too small of an angle. Comes up short there. So that's his jump shooting. Obviously, he's cited as one of his biggest weaknesses. He's shooting a good percentage, but again, that's not that many attempts. He shot the ball a ton against UCF, but has a lot to work on with that jump shot. I'm fine with the set shot being flat-footed. It works for some players. It's just he has to really develop those elbows, try to get more centered facing the hoop, and get a shorter release. It's far too long to be effective. You should watch a lot of Brook Lopez, see how he developed his jump shot. But that moves us into our passing. Not many clips of his passing here, but just going to look at a few. So here, gets it in secondary transition. We're really going to break these ones down. So does a good job of getting the ball to the corner and letting Trey make the right play. But something that he can do and become a better playmaker is he does a good job of drawing two. And he's got Colin Smith and BJ Taylor right in front of him. So if he tries to go through him, that's going to be a charge. They did a good job scouting him to knowing he wants to go right here, take one step through and dunk that, get the crowd into it. So they do a good job of cutting it off. I would love to see Zion develop to be able to jump stop right here. Stop in between those two, because he has a lot of good action developing in front of him. Again, Trey coming to the corner. Javin DeLaurier diving hard to the rim running there. And then you got Cam trailing into the wing three. So if he's able to jump stop here, draw BJ, draw Colin Smith, have them there, Aubrey Dawkins has to get there to cover Trey in the corner, which is a difficult run, so he can get that pass there still if he jump stops. Then I believe this is Frank. Frank Bird's here. he's got to come all the way over to try to guard Cam, and Taco's got to keep up with Javin, which I would take Javin in that foot race any day. So if he's able to stop here, he has a dump off, I believe, as the first read. He would have Trey in the corner, but a safety outlet would be Cam walking into a 3 here. So if he's able to control himself here, keep those 2 defenders on him, he's going to have 3 good options here, and he's going to be able to make his pick without much pressure on him. So what ultimately ends up happening, he drives hard here, decelerates enough that it's not a charge, gets the ball to Trey. Trey makes the right move, makes the extra pass into Cam for a knockdown 3. So not a bad play, but places he can develop there. So again, drives here, slows down enough to not draw the charge. Trey's going to swing it into a Cam knockdown 3. So now here, Zion gets a rebound. One of the most talked about plays of the game. Gets a rebound, has Trey and Cam in front of him. Really pushes it. Frank Burtz is coming from the side. I think he sees him a little too late, but able to get the ball in his left hand, make a tough pass right into the pocket of Trey Jones for an easy layup. Now that's a great play. Absolutely nothing wrong with this. Would love to have him do this all the time. But let's look into something that he could have done. Keep hitting that volume button. Sorry about that. So right here, if he recognizes Frank Burtz is coming for that steal, he can take another dribble here, go behind his back, let Burks fly by him. So Burtz is that way. Now he's dribbling this way, right hand. He's got RJ who will stay by the 3-point line, finish his run there. Trey is going to finish his run through to the block. And then he's putting Aubrey Dawkins in a pickle here, having to play 3-on-1. So I think if he's able to develop his hand a little bit more, push the ball, obviously, again, this is nitpicking, but something that he can work on and just improve his game there. So again, great pass, but just things to look for. Now into the next play. This is in the half court. UCF does a really poor job here defensively. Kind of playing the matchup zone, kind of playing the man-to-man, but caught in really poor positions. So Cam, he's a good shooter, can knock this down. So I get why Colin Smith's there. Taylor's late to the recovery. He was guarding Trey there. I want to see him jump to the ball quicker so he can drop and not leave Chad Brown here playing Zion and Bolden by himself. So Zion smartly recognizes they have basically 4 guys at the foul line level, and we have 2 that are below that. So advantage Duke there. He flashes to the ball. Cam makes that easy pass over the top. Drops it down to Zion. You're going to see Cesar DeJesus go drop down hard to cover Bolden. So Chad Brown can really flash and cover Zion. Taylor's going to come out and guard Cam. Colin Smith's going to drop. Now, Trey Jones, RJ Barrett, 2 of their best offensive weapons, are going against Terrell Allen here. So, and to be honest, the film's a little grainy, so this could be Taylor and this could be BJ Taylor. Either way, it's 2-on-1. Trey's going to go set a screen on him. RJ's going to flash to the top. So a lot of good action on Duke here. A lot of poor action for UCF. But Zion smartly recognizes it, comes to the ball. Once he hits the ball here, either has Bolden, can get it back out to Cam if Taylor or Allen are late, or ultimately what happens is hitting RJ at the top of the key after this great screen by Trey for a knockdown 3. So we'll let this one run. Catches it here. Birds gets in front of him. Or DeJesus gets in front of him. And down screen on Bolden for Bolden. Easy three for RJ there. So great play there, Zion. Now looking at his drives. Again, poor job for UCF in this 3-2 zone that they had. I think this was a bad idea to extend the 3-2 zone. Duke does a decent job of taking care of the ball, but having 3 guys outside the 3-point line and really no rim protection in when Zion, Delorier are in there, Cam, and RJ, all people who can get to the rim and finish well around there. So they leave a ton of space right here. Zion recognizes it, flashes to this high post, puts Chad Brown in a tough position. I don't think Colin Smith can get around there. So he's going to have to beat Zion to this spot. So Zion flashes and smartly recognizes his only move is to catch it and go. Because Chad Brown's going to take a step at him, but ultimately he's going to step, turn to Delorier, prevent that lob or that drop off there. So Zion's going to catch, turn, and go and finish strong at the rim. I just think this is a poor job by UCF, but a great job by Duke to recognize this and really attack it. So again, right to the high post. Colin Smith is late. Chad stunts at him. Can't beat him there. And then just rises up above him and finishes strong for the N1. So now UCF kind of realizes that they can't extend their zone, so they drop down into a really condensed 2-3 zone. So you see here, you got the 2 up top, both inside the 3-point line and inside the lane lines, which is important because that leaves big lane drives on the side where you see RJ is occupying right now. So Trey smartly, anytime you see a 2-3 zone, you want to have odd numbers up top. So for Duke, they have 1, 2, and Goldwire is going to eventually come up here for 3. You want to be in those lanes that the 2-3 zone naturally develop. So they do a good job getting the ball to RJ here. Gonna have DeJesus drop off over here. I believe this is Dawkins. Flash here. And ultimately, Bolden's gonna drop down, which will cause him to drop down and give RJ some space to work. While all this is happening, Goldwire comes up top. For some reason, Colin Smith stays with him too long. Zion drops down and seals inside here, while Bolden is occupying Chad Brown. This gives a ton of space on this side for easy. I wouldn't say easy, but a pass from RJ to lob over the top to Zion. So again, gets it here, draws the two defenders. Bolden posting up smartly here. If RJ is able to get him the ball, that's an easy drop step into a layup. If not, he opens up Zion, who smartly seals inside there, throws his hand up. It's a tough pass and something that at the next level, one, you won't see very many zones, but if you do, this pass is not going to be there or it's going to be stolen every time. But because it's college, he's able to get away with somewhat inaccurate pass because of Zion's leaping ability. So grabs that, goes straight up, finishes strong. Next play here, catches himself in the tough spot, realizes it, sees that he has 4 defenders at ball level, able to double in at any point. So turns and gets away from danger. And now he's in a 2-man game where Chad Brown should be up jamming Delorier. You see here, Chad Brown should be up there on Delorier's hip to help out with this pick and roll. But because he's sitting back here, Zion recognizes that. This comes and sets a screen here. Comes off, keeps it tight. So Dawkins here should be going underneath because of how much space is in between this screen. But follows it for some reason. That gives Delorier the chance to screen and dive. Zion does a great job of coming off the screen really tight, basically rubbing shoulders, shoulder to hip, and then take the jump stop from here and create a ton of space with this one hop step. And does a good job of finishing through contact. So you see here, sets the screen, comes off tight, should have went under, came over. This is a big hop step, basically going from elbow to block, finishing left hand. So what I would say for Zion to work on here, Delorier needs to get out of there faster. That needs to be a sprint to the block right now, because that could be a pocket pass. I think defensively, Chad Brown should step up sooner, force Zion into that pocket pass, make Delorier be the one to finish, not Zion. But if Zion, as he does this hop step here, does a good job of protecting the ball, getting his body in between him and the defender, or between the ball and the defender. But I would like to see him go towards the rim now and finish with the right. I feel like he doesn't trust his right hand enough, so he gets here, twists his body to get to that left hand again. Just need him to work a little bit more on that right hand and getting towards the rim. But a great finish. Next play here. This is strictly a great play design, so we'll dive a little bit deeper into it. So Duke does a good job of, Trey starts with the ball here, spreading the floor. Got Cam as a shooter. I would have preferred Cam to be on this side where Goldwire is. But either way, floor spaced because RJ is a threat right here. Can't leave him too much because if he gets the ball, he can attack. He can knock down shots. So having him set the screen makes it very difficult on the defense. If they're going to switch, now he's on top. RJ can turn, go right to the rim for easy dump off to him. Zion here needs to set up his man a little bit more, going this way, then coming off. You want the defender on this side. So if you get him far enough on this side, he's going to try to cheat and go this way. But you're going to beat him to the spot and get to the rim. But RJ does a good job setting that screen. Trey gets the ball to Goldwire. He comes down. This is just an easy dump off for a layup. Now defensively, if I'm guarding this, again, RJ setting that screen. I'm switching this. I think that's, it's hard to see who that is, but I'm switching that if I'm here. He's got to fight his way around, get to this side of RJ. I want Chad Brown to stay right there, force Goldwire to shoot. And Frank Burth, you can even cheat it a little bit more, get all the way to help side. That way, he switches onto Zion, cuts that cut off. No layup there. Now they have to reset because that's the play. But Duke does a good job of running this. UCF just has to communicate a little bit more. Chad Brown comes out too far. Colin Smith's too late to help. And this is just athleticism. All right, next play. Zion's starting to feel it offensively. Starting to go more one-on-one. Gets the ball here in the wing at the mid-post and draws a double team. So let's look at this a little bit further. So Zion right here, going against a 2-3 zone. Gets Dawkins and Frank Burt's there together. Or I think that's DeJesus. But they're double in there. Zion can back in DeJesus there pretty easily. So he drops that, but knows Taco's there lurking. He's one step from help. He knows that Taco doesn't have the quickest feet, so he can beat him to spots. Duke does a good job of spacing the floor here. Goldwire, Cam. Trey ultimately goes over here. RJ comes near side to draw Dawkins a little bit away from Zion. I think if Trey comes this way, Dawkins is more likely to stay on Zion. So good job at recognizing that. Now, Zion does a good job of backing him down, spinning baseline, and immediately going into the chest of Taco Fall. Good job here. He puts it up, comes up short, but because of his motor, his energy, able to get the rebound and go right back up with it. But stuff he can work on with this. So watch Blake Griffin in this mid post where he dribbles. This last dribble is going to turn into a spin. Now this step, his right foot. Look at this a little bit further. This right here needs to get further around and behind. So the defender's foot, we'll use the defender's foot as blue. Zion's foot's here. That's far too close. What you want is your foot to be over here where you can wrap it around, bring this right foot or this left foot around to square up. Now you have this defender on your back. He just takes too small of a step here and picks up his dribble early. The dribble's already picked up here. That means this next step has to be his launch step and go right up from there. So if you're taking this step to this step and having to jump against this guy, for any average basketball player, that's just going to get a block shot. For Zion, he has the capability of hanging and has the strength to knock him off his spot. But he really needs to take a bigger step there. Keep that dribble alive. If he just came up from a dribble here. If he takes another dribble when he turns, now he's able to either make a play to 1, 2, 3, or 4, or turns and makes that dribble, sees Taco, go into his chest and go up, or he can dribble around, wrap around dunk there, finish on the other side of the rim, make it tough for Taco to block that shot. So again, too small of a step. He's jumping from outside the lane. Again, it's a freak of nature, so can get away with it. But I think at the next level, speed and size will be a little bit better for him. So watch one more time. Dribble, shallow step there. That right foot is about 3 feet out from the block. That is going to be too far to launch from in the NBA. But does a good job of staying with it and finishing. Next play, Duke's running basically a 1-4 low, allowing Zion to attack. Has a mismatch here. Does a good job of recognizing that he does have a mismatch. So right now he's being guarded by Terrell Allen, who does a really poor job of creating an angle. So what I mean by that is right here. Everyone in the world now knows you need to force Zion to the left. And he has the right idea. He's facing that way. He's pushing him to his right foot. But he's left this much of a gap, which is way too big for Zion to be able to just rip and go by. So if I'm Terrell Allen, I'm in that same stance, but on his top foot. So he has to go that way. And now Trey Jones pushes to the corner. Not much of a shooting threat. And you have your biggest threat defensively right behind you there. So get up there, make him go right. Zion realizes it, rips through. Allen now has to open up his hips, doesn't want to foul, so keeps his hands up. Taco's going to come from over here to there, try to beat him to the spot. That's a long distance for his feet. So Zion's able to beat him to the spot and just get to the left side and make a left-handed layup. So great job recognizing the mismatch, recognizing the bad feet, and attacking that top foot. You always hear me on the podcast saying to attack the top foot anytime someone closes out to you. So Terrell Allen has a short closeout, but attacking that top foot makes him open his hips up. One bump and he's already by him. Taco falls there late. And then extreme athleticism finishes the play. All right, so now the last play of the game. Zion seems to be calling for RJ to come get the ball. Realizes the ball's counting. The ref's counting. You only have 5 seconds when someone's tightly guarding you. So let's take a look at this play. So, not a great job spacing the floor right now, or at least spacing within distance to attack. So Trey's in a good spot, but with Taco on him, that really cancels that out because he's not worried about Trey shooting that ball. He's worried about Zion driving. RJ's coming over to try to get the ball. Cam, you're way too far out to be a threat here. Cam eventually comes down, but Delorier, I believe that is, has to come down to the dunker spot, really make Taco spread himself out So you have Trey here, Delorier here, and if you're going to attack the middle, you got 3 options there. And then Cam would kind of fade to the corner. So Zion has BJ Taylor on him. And BJ does a much better job of cutting this left side off. He knows if Zion goes left, it's going to the sideline first before he can get downhill. So there's not much space to attack left. Does a great job of knowing Zion's not going to go this way because I'm cutting this off. I'm going to trust my feet to beat him to the spot, which he ultimately does. Could have gone either way if it was charge, no call, block. They go no call, it's late in the game. I don't think you can call it, but I thought it was a charge. So BJ does a great job. Zion attacks it. He falls over, comes back, and Taco's a little bit late. Taco needs to get there before he jumps, but Zion jumps into him and is able to finish strong through a ton of contact there. So we'll take a look. And dribbles right, cuts it off, shoulders in the chest. Believe BJ's in that legal guarding spot. Can easily call that a charge. Zion spins back. Taco, you need to be 1 step sooner. If Taco's here at that point, that's a long distance to take the contact here and try to make this shot over again. The 20th tallest man in the world. So just a second too late, Zion's able to lead with that elbow, which intimidates some shot blockers, gets into his upper body, which is important. Keep rising up and finishing with that left hand. So just great overall strength and play by Zion there. But that concludes the breakdown of his UCF film. Just giving you an idea of what he does well, what he can work on, and things that he needs to improve on for the next level. I think everyone has him as the number 1 overall pick, and as do I. But I don't think he's that surefire LeBron prospect that everyone has, because he has a lot to work on offensively, refining his skills. But nonetheless, Zion's one of the greatest college basketball players to ever play. But yeah, let me know what you think. Subscribe, comment. I want to make more of these, so let me know what you like, what you didn't like, things like that. And then always check out the podcast, NBA University. Thanks.